Hello YouTubers, it's Championdjk coming at you yet again with another 10 Car Tuesday episode, and we are going to do this Greenlight Hollywood 10 pack for 10 Car Tuesday. So we're going to take a look at all 10 of these castings. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we are going to take a peek at each one by one for this episode of 10 Car Tuesday. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and open it up. And the first one that we're going to look at is the one that is all the way up in the top left of the pack. This was the 2013 Ford Escape from The Amazing Race. And here it is. These are numbered, it looks like, 771. I do not know how many of these 10 packs were produced. No idea. Let's see here. In the copyright date, I forgot to look on the 10 pack, is 2013. So likely these came out around 2014, would be my guess. But we're just going to take a look at each one of these toolings, each 10 of them, each one of the 10, and take a peek. So this one, I'm guessing, is a Motor World release because it does have a plastic base. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I know this thing has been seen in a lot of dioramas. But here is the Ford Escape. If I recall, these ones are a pain in the rear end to change a car battery on, even because of the way that the car battery is buried in here. But pretty cool little tooling from Greenlight. You do get lensed details up front for the headlights. You do get lens details in the back for the taillights. Like I said, plastic base. This does have a metal body. It does have rubber tires. It does have prototypical wheels, and it does look pretty all right. I mean, it's a nice little basic car. Kind of a weird one to pick for Greenlight Hollywood series to do a TV show, The Amazing Race, and to use such a bland car, the Ford Escape, but I'm sure it was a vehicle that was featured on the show. I did not watch it. Again, pop culture and me, I'm just not very well versed in it, so don't blame me for not knowing much about the shows, but the little car is kind of cool. So there it is, Ford Escape. Moving on. All right, so next up is the 1969 Chevrolet Camaro from the TV series Bewitched. So it's green Camaro convertible. This is another Motor World casting. It is number 649, or this is for sure a Motor World casting as far as I know. It does have a tooling number, GL071. This is a very basic Greenlight casting. There is no lens detail on it. Straight up painted detail in the front, painted detail in the back, plastic base, metal body. It's a convertible. It looks okay. We got some trim paint issues on the one side. Doesn't look as good as the other, but it's a decent looking little Camaro. This tooling I did already have in my collection, so not super stoked to get this one in the collection, but it's all right. It's okay. So there is number 2 of 10 cars. This one's pretty cool. This is a 1971 Dodge Challenger. This is from NCIS, Los Angeles, another TV show. And this one is pretty neat. I don't know how it relates to the TV show, so I apologize about that. But it is pretty cool. So this is a straight up cool Greenlight casting with a opening hood. It's all metal and metal. This is number 1653. It's kind of interesting how all the cars, too, are going to have different numbers on the base. So they were just produced as many and then randomly put into the pack is what it appears. And it also is kind of cool that one rim is different. So the other ones are the same, and then you have the one rim that's different. This kind of is like a Johnny Lightning Project in Progress car is what it kind of looks like. This one you get, I think that's just a plastic insert up front. It's just painted black for the headlights, and then the back is just painted. I don't think I have an example of this tooling. I might actually, though. I'm not sure, but pretty cool to get that one. This is a pretty cool addition to the Greenlight collection. You don't see too many. There are a few weathered cars from Greenlight, but there's not a whole lot. So I think it is pretty cool to get this one. So that's a really cool one. I like that one. All right, so that's number 3. And then moving on here, this is the 1964 Chevy Chevelle Malibu SS from the movie Catch Me If You Can. This movie I have seen, at least the one with, I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio. And this is another, it's kind of nice casting from Greenlight. It's number 872. It is all metal. You got the little bow tie, the Chevy bow tie on the rims, although it's not centered super well. On one side it's pretty good. That tire is probably the best. That rim's probably the best. Or hubcap or whatever you want to call it. The car looks all right. A little trim issue on the side there, just a little flaw. Other than that, it looks pretty good. This is definitely, I did not have an example of this tooling in my collection, so this is one I can check off the list. You do get quite a bit of detail there in the motor. It looks all right. This one is painted detail up front and painted detail on the back. And if you notice with Greenlight is over the years that things have kind of changed with the way that they construct the cars and the way that they've done things. Some of their toolings have just painted details. Some of them have lens details. They have been mixed up quite a bit. Most of the modern stuff I would think has your lens detail. This is a tooling number GL027. So fairly early in the Greenlight lineup. And Greenlight now, I mean, they're just pumping out toolings, so that is pretty cool. They definitely put in work, and that's why the brand is fun to collect. This next one is a 2005 Chevy Corvette from CSI Miami, so kind of cool. This one is number 262. It is, where's the tooling number on it? It is GL001. So if the tooling numbers are chronological, that would make this basically the first official Greenlight tooling. Now I know that this is the convertible version. I'm pretty sure there is a hardtop version of it. This one does not have an opening hood. Okay. There is another Corvette that's similar to this that does have an opening hood. This one does not have an opening hood. It does, however, have lens detail up front, which looks pretty good. It also has, it is painted detail in the back, but it is painted with a reflective paint. So that looks pretty good and does contrast actually on a red car, which is kind of hard to do. You know, you have red taillights in a red car. It's kind of tough to do. But it's kind of a cool little tooling. This is another one that I did not have an example of in my collection, so I get to add it and check it off the list. And it's a pretty cool one. I like it. Definitely wouldn't pick up more of this tooling. This would be sufficient basically for my collection. But you know, it's cool to get it. It's cool to check it off the list. So kind of neat there. So that is car number 5. So we're halfway through. The next one here we got is from CSI New York. So here is this. This is the 2011 Dodge Charger RT from CSI New York. This is another one that I do not think I had an example of the tooling. So you get lens detail in the back, very nicely done. There's lens detail in the front as well, and that looks pretty good. It is number 2798. Copyright date is 2012. This one is tooling number 59. Let's see it right there. That's a pretty good one. I think that looks pretty good. Stance looks pretty decent. The wheels kind of sit deep in the wheel well, but it kind of actually looks realistic. It's got a nice opening hood with some pretty fantastic detail under the hood. Got a Hemi in there. That's pretty awesome. And I think this is a nice one. I definitely like it. I don't think I have. I might have this tooling actually now I think of it. No, I think I actually have the older one that does not have lens detail. It says painted detail up front. So this is another cool one to have. So I definitely like it. It looks good in all black. So that's a good example of that tooling. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so that's number 6. And let's see, so we got 4 more to go. This is the 1974 Dodge Monaco. This is from Smokey and the Bandit 2. Pretty cool. This, I definitely have an example of the Dodge Monaco from Greenlight. They released a lot of this car, as far as I know. This is tooling number 55. And pretty cool one. It's pretty cool, little basic tampo. It's got a light bar up top. Let's see here, opening hood. Should have an opening hood. Come on, buddy. Well, I'm not going to try to force that open, but it does have an opening hood. It is all metal construction. Light bar's done pretty cool. Pretty cool car. It's got lens detail up front. Those are little plastic inserts in there. And then the back, it also has plastic inserts in the back, which is really nice. And just a pretty cool car. And I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% positive I have an example of this tooling in the collection, but definitely a keeper. So love it. That's cool. All right, next up, and this one I definitely have a lot of examples of. This is the Volkswagen Classic Beetle from Footloose. Here it is. This is a basic Motor World casting. Plastic base, plastic China base, no tooling number on the bottom, because it's originally a high-speed casting. And it's okay. It'll join my Beetle collection. I've got a lot of these. I've got a ton of this tooling. I did not have the Footloose one. I don't know. They probably released this in the singles. I didn't really look into this, so I don't know which ones were released in singles and which ones weren't. Or if it's a variation of the one that was released in singles, not in this 10-pack. But it's cool. It'll join the Beetle collection. And that is car number 8. And then we have 2 more to go. This one looks really cool. This is from the movie, I think it's a movie, Fright Night. 1966 Ford Mustang GT. And this is another weathered look for Greenlight. And I believe this is another tooling I did not have. I think it's an earlier one. So there is, that's painted detail back there. And again, it's got like the silver around it, and then it's got a reflective paint in for the taillights. The front is also painted. The hood does open, and you do get a pretty decent amount of detail in there. It's number 738, and it is an earlier one. So it's tooling number 41. So an earlier tooling. I don't think I have an example of this in the collection. So this is another one I think I can check off from getting this 10-pack. So that is pretty cool. And I like it. You know, it's a little kind of a project in progress kind of vibe going on to it. It doesn't have a ton of detail in that regard, but I think it is a pretty cool looking Greenlight car. So definitely glad to add to the collection. You know, as I go on, I definitely have an affinity for Greenlight. Greenlight does some just really cool stuff. I like a lot of the different diecast manufacturers because they do a lot of different things. And Greenlight just does its own thing, and I like that. So this is really why I wanted this 10-pack. This is the 1980 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit 2. And you're like, oh, well, they've released tons of this. Well, yes and no. This version is the dirty version. It may be kind of hard to tell actually on camera, but the paint kind of fades to get more dirty towards the bottom of the car. It's like glossy on the top, and then it goes down to almost like a matte finish on the bottom. And they made it look kind of dirty, which is cool, like it's road driven. And it looks really good. I actually like it quite a bit. You get the reflective paint in the back, which not all of these had. So I don't know when they stopped using this reflective paint on their cars, but it was sometime later than when this was produced, and I don't think they really do it much anymore. This is number 2505. Definitely have a bunch of examples of this tooling. It is tooling number 45. Let's see if we can get the hood open. So there's a quick peek on the inside, just all black in there, so really not much to look at in there. But fantastic addition to the Greenlight collection, because I just really wanted this car. So I am glad to check it off. There is a Smokey and the Bandit 1 dirty version available in a single pack, and it was actually a hobby dealer exclusive. It was Collectibles Corner, which I don't know if they're still in business or not. I forgot to take a look at that before this video. But they did sell an exclusive vehicle. I believe it was exclusive to them, and it was the 77 Trans Am, but the dirty version of that. And I think that's the only place you could get that. So I'll have to take a look at that. It's definitely something I would want. And pretty cool. So I am glad to check that one off the list, and just glad to get all these cars actually and get them at a pretty good price, pretty much $4 a car. So I think that's a good deal. All right, so that's going to be it for this 10 Car Tuesday, and I guess my favorite would definitely have to be this one. I think actually a close second, and I'm not even a huge fan of this car in real life or anything, but I think the way that this one is done just looks really good. So this might be my second favorite, and then third, we might have to go with this. I mean, that does look pretty good. So altogether, I mean, this pack is a nice one. It's got some really nice examples of different Greenlight toolings, and you can pick them up fairly cheap. Just find an eBay seller that's got best offer, throw something out there and see if it sticks. That's what I would recommend. And just pick one of these up if you're into it. It's kind of a chunk of change to spend at once, but you get 10 cars, and especially if you're a loose collector, this would be something good, because you probably don't want to carry around this big bulk pack around or display it like that. And this one had some shelfware and stuff, but for me, it's like, who cares about that? So all right, so thank you guys very much for watching another 10 Car Tuesday episode. Please check out my playlist, please comment, please subscribe. So yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, and have a good day.